Okay. So, come back at y'all's old homework, grab yours, pass on the remainder. And what page was it? We skipped a page, right?
3940.
So we skipped a page?
Yes.
3940, huh?
That would be mine, yeah.
Why is that all over?
All right. What questions did you see on page 39 and 40 you would like to go over? Number 10? Yeah, all right.
I showed it before.
Problem number 10. Okay, x squared plus 22x plus 100, huh? Okay. I don't know why I did a little hill in there. My number I'm trying to make it work is 100, and both values are positive so far. Yay?
Yes.
No problems there?
No.
All right, so let's think of factors of 100 that might add up to 22. So I know 1 and 100, no. 2 and 50, well, it's getting closer, but not quite. 4 and 25, I guess we can start there. 4 and 25. 5 and 20. 6 doesn't work. 7 doesn't work. 8 doesn't work. 9 doesn't work. And then 10 times 10. Well, what do you think?
It's fine.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
It's not going to factor. Cool. What else would you like to
What's
see?
that number
9? And then what do you got? 26? So
Come
remind me to come back 26, okay?
20s.
Number 9. 9 is the difference of two squares. So I get x squared minus 49. So this is one we worked on yesterday. Perfect square separated by a subtraction sign. So I get x plus 7, x minus 7. Done. Jacob, what was wrong? Ooh. Okay. All right, 49 x squared y squared plus 14 x y squared plus y squared. Okay, so there's 3 terms up there. What do all 3 terms have in common?
X, Y. X over Y.
I don't have an x on that one though.
So Y.
We have y. And how many y's do all 3 terms have in common? 2. It's y squared. Y squared, y squared, y. So this is my greatest common factor here, here, and here. So that's going to leave me 49 x squared. There's going to be a y squared that I brought out. That'll come down at the end. Plus 14x plus 1. Is that okay so far? Good. All right. So I know the y squared is part of my answer. And then multiply magic number 49. Looks like both terms have to be positive. So what factors of 49 add up to 14?
7 and 7.
7 and 7. Is it okay to have the same term over?
Yes.
Heck yeah. 7 and 7. So I'm going to get 49x squared plus 7x plus 7x plus 1. Factor what I have, so 7x comes out, 7x plus 1. And I can only factor a 1 out of that. So I'm going to get the y squared, that was my GCF originally, and then 7x plus 1, and 7x plus 1. Hey, but they're both the same. Okay. That's what it is. That's called a perfect square trinomial, if you're worried about that at all. But anything else from the homework you want to see? Yeah.
So I'm confused on that part. To get the 7x, like the middle part.
Okay, so in the blue? Okay.
Yeah, so I know how to get 49x squared plus 7x, that part.
So that's okay?
Yeah, and everything else above that also. But the next part, it's, I don't know how to,
So what I'm doing is I'm looking here, I'm looking at my first two terms only, and then I'm looking at my last two terms only, and factoring out what I have. So if I look at my first two terms, it looks like a 7 works on both, and also an x. So if I factor 7x out, 7x times 7x is 49x squared, so that's where that 7x came from. 7x times 1 is 7x. So if you factor everything out, you have to have a placeholder of 1.
okay, but what really, like, confuses me is, am I supposed to find what times what goes into 49?
No, we already did that. That was here, and that broke us up to 49, 7x, because the 7 and 7 worked.
Okay, but if it was like another number,
then it would be, then it's like, let's say it was like 9 and 3. You have 9x and 3x, or 3x and 9x. It doesn't matter which order. They'll still work out the same.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else? Anything more? Good in the hood? Will you make sure your name is on it? And we are going to try and get everybody right now a 4 out of 4 on a quiz. Sound good? So pass forward your homework, if you don't mind. Make sure your name's on it. And then coming out to you is a half sheet of paper, which are 4 problems. Do the best you can on those 4 problems in the next 5 minutes. Cool? But we're not gonna give you 4 out of 4. We gotta earn it as a class. So it's up to the class to get us a 4 out of 4. Thank you. Homework and homework. Yeah, I'll put those lights on.
What teacher? I'm on finally.
I'm not. I have literally zero.
I would
I have 0 notes.
I would let you find it. No, actually, tell me what happened. Within X. What X? What are you doing, sister? I don't know. My mom got it. Well.
She's on.
Yes.
We didn't have science homework, right?
Oh yeah, we did.
We did?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know. Oh no, we didn't because we watched Don't Have a Science Fair.
Y'all watched Bill Nestor?
Yeah.
That's fine. It was a G.
I hate it.
Dude, I had
so
her
much.
last year.
I have it last year.
No. Yeah, she is, but like if you really get to know her, she's so nice. Like every 6 months, I just go in my office and then and just talk shit about like all the people I don't know.
I mean, she's nice, but she wasn't a good teacher.
Yeah. She's not a good teacher.
Yeah, she's
But she's nice to talk to.
Yeah, she's just a bad teacher, but like if you do one-on-one, she's really good. She's really good.
All right, let's see how you did because I had it recording the whole time. Oh.
Yeah, I watched mine twice.
Cool. I'm just kidding. About 2 minutes. Think you can get it?
No.
Do the best you can.
Sorry.
I'll give you 3.
Yes.
Okay. This is how we're going to go through this. So I'm going to guide you the best I can. And you are allowed one freebie ask a neighbor, but you can't always ask the same neighbor. Make sense? We're going to go through this. All right, so item 1. Is this just something we're looking for a greatest common factor, or will it factor further than that? Okay, I'm picking on you first now.
Oh no.
Okay. Now you're allowed, and so you're allowed to ask a person if you get stumped, but no one else can ask that person until everyone gets asked. Okay. So you feel it's a greatest common factor, and I agree with you. What number can I factor out of both of those terms right now? 2. Can I also factor out a letter?
Yes.
What can I factor out?
X.
X. Okay. Well, you're off the hook. All right, so I can factor a 2 and an X out. All right. Now, I need for you to pick anybody in this room except for me. Hey, Brooke.
70?
Same rules apply to you. So do you agree so far with everything that's done on this problem, or is there any question you have on what we've done so far? You feel good about it? Okay. If I factor a 2x out of 2x squared, is there anything left? X. And if I factor a 2x out of negative 10x, is there anything left? Remember, you can ask one person, but you can't do an ask back. So far you've told me there's an x right here, and I agree, and I will tell you there's a negative right there. So if I factor a 2x out of 10x, is there anything left? We're multiplying, remember that? So 2 times what number gives me 10? If it was a 5, so if I had a 5x right there, that means if I redistributed, I'd get 2x times 5x, which is 10x squared. And it's only 10x. 5, and yes. All right, is there anything about this problem that has anybody concerned? Good. Brooke? Brooke, you can pick anybody in the class who hasn't been picked yet. Ah, Sophia, you're up. All right, we're moving to the next problem. Is that okay?
Why are you looking at me? Which one?
Sophia, right here. The class knows that they're trying to avoid you guys making. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Sophia, do you feel that this problem has a greatest common factor? And if so, meaning that all the terms have the exact same value other than one that can factor out. So can I factor an x out of all three, or can I factor a number out of all three other than one? What number would you like to factor out of all three?
Well, one number or like two. So for like what I'm saying is for 40, we would do, oh, this is how I do it. We would do like 10 4.
Oh, I see what you're doing. So you're on the process of factoring. But do you feel that x squared has a 10 or a 4 associated with it right now? No. So I guess my terminology was goofy. So you're answering your question correctly. So the answer that I was looking for is, and you're correct what you're saying. So I can't take something out of all three of the terms and have it like out front as the greatest common factor is what I was trying to do. All right, so let's build upon what your idea was. So you thought, how did you get to the 10 and 4, and what was your thought process there?
Well, okay, so since the 40, you're supposed to have two numbers that multiply to 40. The first one that came to my head was 10 and 4.
Okay. So let me ask you this. I just want clarification. How did you get the 40, and where did you just look at the last number and say it's got to be that, or did you realize that was a 1 out front, so when I multiply those together?
Yeah.
That, okay. Now, let me clarify, make sure we're good. What kind of 40 is it?
A negative 40.
Do you see why? You're absolutely right.
Because it's 6x.
So it's a negative 4, 40 times a positive 1, so it's a negative 40. All right, Sophia, last little question for you. And I agree with you on your 6 and 4, and I love it, and I'm going to use them. Are they both positive, both negative, or one of each? One of each. So I have a 4 and a 10, and I have one of each. You're off the hook. Good job. Who would you like me to pick next? Or you pick next? And they can't go any trade backs. Oliver, you're up. Oliver, so far, do you feel we are on the right path with this problem? Okay. Do you agree that 4 times 10 is indeed 40?
Yes.
And would you agree that there's some way to have one positive and one negative that we add them together to get positive 6? Which one would have to be positive? Which one has to be negative to get a positive 6 when I add them? Good. So 10 has to be positive, 4 has to be negative. All right. Now, Oliver, are we going to do this? Would you like to do it the grouping way, the cherry creek method way? Okay. Well, I'm going to bring this down. And I'm going to bring this down. Do you feel comfortable with that so far? Tell me what goes in the middle now.
X minus 4.
So, that?
Yeah, minus 4x. And then parentheses.
Not yet.
10x.
10x. You got it. You said it. You're right. So that's just breaking that up. That's what this step does right here. That leads to right here. It's saying, hey, what can we break up? I agree with you. Okay? Can we, let's see. Ask somebody new. Good job. Aiden, you're up. So Aiden, I'm going to do this for you, if this is okay. I'm going to highlight here. And then I'm going to highlight here. Okay. And Oliver, we've done the lights too, please. All right, Aiden. I have this into 2 different colored groupings, right? So I'm going to factor by grouping. So the blue color, what do I have in common between those two? An X And then what am I left with?
X.
And?
Mine's different on mine.
Okay, but looking at mine, we might have went backwards, but just looking up here, if I factor an x out of both of those, what do I have left? There you go. Cool. All right. In the purplish pinkish region, what do I have in common? And what's the next sign I'm going to use? Positive or negative?
Negative.
Watch this one.
I mean a positive.
It's got to be positive. What am I going to factor out of both of those then? Okay.
I did it backwards.
That's okay. Our answer should be the same if you did it right.
X.
I can't take an x out of the 40. But what can I take? What can I take out? Take a look. Just look at those.
0.
No, I'm not going to do 0. That's not going to help me. Does 2 go into both numbers? Does 5 go into both numbers? Does anything else go into both numbers?
2.
2 does, I agree. Does anything else?
10.
10, I like it.
I did it backwards.
If I factor 10 out, what do I have left here?
X.
And that's minus sign. And then what? That, right?
X plus 10 and X minus 4.
X plus 10 and x minus 4. Cool.
Why did we bring down the 10?
That's a great question. Let me do this with highlighter real quick. All right. So once we get down to this point, we have this and this in common between the two. So we're going to factor those out of those true terms. So then, oh wait, I forgot to, silly me, sorry. Where's there? That should have been x minus 4, right? Oh, I'm sorry about that. So x minus 4 comes right down, but I have this and this left. So it goes into the other side of parentheses. So this x comes here, and this 10 comes here. That's all it is.
No, that's
No.
not what I was talking about.
Okay.
I'm talking about the purple 10x going down to the blue 10x.
So the biggest number that I could factor out of 10x and 40 is 10. That goes into both of them evenly.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sure. 80. Who we call him?
Oh.
All right.
Why?
Because we love you.
I didn't
So-
even do number 3. I just stopped.
You're okay. We'll lead you. Don't worry. So, question for you: does this make sense? What we did here?
Yeah.
Good. You feel? Everyone feel comfortable? No one. All right, Mr. Brown. Here we go. All right. So I'm gonna guide you. Don't panic. We'll get you through. Can I factor an x out of all three terms on there?
No.
No, because it's not there, right? Can I factor, say, a 2 out of all three terms? No, because it's 7,
Yeah.
correct? Okay. So I think we're going to have to start factoring this one. So what's my magical number got to be? You're allowed to ask one question to somebody, not me.
Why waste your first one? What's 6 times 2? 12.
Yeah, so you take the last times the first. And what? Hey, what's the sign on that number? Positive or negative?
Positive.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask you one last question. One last question. I think you're going to nail it. So in order to get a positive number, I have to take a negative number and a negative number to get a positive, or a positive and a positive. Just by looking up there, what would you think logically would make sense? Both positive or both negative?
Both negative.
Why was sticking out? You're absolutely right. But what's sticking out to make you say that?
Negative 7.
Yeah, the negative 7. So they're both negative. Who would you like me to pick on? And you can't go any.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
Solid.
Elizabeth. So just looking up there, we want both of our terms to be negative, and we want those terms to add up to negative 7. So factors of 3 and 4. I like it. 3 and 4. Both negative. Negative 3, negative 4. Like it. So I'm going to bring this down, 2x squared. And I'm bringing this plus 6 down. So what are we going to put in the middle here?
Negative minus 3x minus 4x.
Nice. Love it. Who would you like me to pick on?
Sophia.
Sophia?
see, the funny thing is that I don't know how to do this part.
Okay, you know what? I bet you we're gonna get it. So I'm gonna make this a yellow, and pick what other highlighted color you want me to use.
Pink.
Do you want me to go with a much different pink for you? Like,
Light.
that might be the same, I don't know. How about that one? Oh yeah, baby. A little darker than it had been. Can you still see the numbers okay?
Yes.
Okay. So do you agree we have both yellow and pink up there? You feel good about that? So all I want to do right now is just look at the yellow. So I have a 2 and a 3. So is there a number value between 2 and 3 I could factor out? That's not. Okay, so you feel good about that so far? I also have an x squared and an x in the yellow. So is there an x value I can factor out? What do you think the x value would be?
X.
Just an x? If I factor an x out of just the yellow, if I factor an x out of this, what do I have left?
2. X.
2 and an x? Good, because that's the same thing as 2xx, right?
Yes.
And then if I factor an x out of here, what's left?
Out of where?
Right here.
3. Negative.
Negative 3. Good, good, good. You're halfway there. I think Bon Jovi sang about that. Something about a prayer. All right. So I'll help you here. This sign, whatever that sign is, always comes down here. Now let's take a look at the pink. Can I factor an x out of both the 4x and the 6? No, because it's not there. Hang on. Can I factor a 2 or a 4 out of 6 out of both those terms?
You can factor out 2.
2. You're right. If I factor a 2 out, and remember it's a negative, so it's a negative 2. So what would this value right here have to be? Because that's
Negative 2x.
okay. So the negative 2 is there, so it's got to be a positive 2x. So negative times positive is that negative. Okay.
Oh, right.
Now this is the big trick. This is the gotcha. I factored a negative out here. So what does this sign have to be down here? Think about it. So how would I make this be positive? Do I have to multiply a negative times a negative or a positive times a positive? So if I factor a negative out, what does this value right here have to be if I redistributed it back in to make that positive 6?
Negative.
Negative. And then
3.
3. Can you bring us home on the answer?
2x minus 3.
Uh-huh.
And x minus 3.
And x minus what?
2.
Yeah, buddy. Who would you like me to pick on next? Yeah.
Is it still right? I did it.
Yeah, good. Nailed it. Same answer. Good job. Who would you like to pick on?
Ben.
Ben? We're on problem number 4. Okay, Ben. First question. Does it appear I can factor an x out of all the terms?
Yeah.
So you agree that all 3 terms have an x involved?
Yep.
Cool. Is there anything else I can factor out of all 3 terms?
A 2.
A 2, because 2 goes into 6, 2 goes into 4, and 2 goes into 16? I agree. I agree. You all agree with that? Make sense? Cool. Good job, Ben. Factor a 2 and an x out. If I factor 2x out of, if I factor 2 out of 6, what do I have left as a number?
3x squared.
3x squared. Good. And that's a minus. That's come down. If I factor a 2x.
Minus 2x.
There you go. If I factor that out there.
Minus 8.
Ah, love it. Ben, who would you like me to pick on next?
Christian.
All right, Christian. First thing for you, Christian. What should I do with that 2x so I don't forget to do it?
Bring it down.
Bring it down. So I'm going to have something like that down here, right? Okay. So I don't have to mess with that 2x any longer because we know it's part of my answer, right? Okay. Do you feel I can factor 3x squared minus 2x minus 8? You think it's factors or you think it's prime?
No, you can factor.
It'll factor?
Yeah.
Okay. So Christian, what is my magic number? And watch your signs.
Positive 4 and a negative 6.
Okay, so did you multiply this and this?
Correct.
And you got a what?
Negative 24.
So in order to get a negative 24, you have to have what and what?
A positive 4 and a negative 6.
One of each? Okay. And you said a what?
Positive 4 and a negative.
Positive 4 and a negative 6? So if I add positive 4 and negative 6 together, does everyone feel comfortable I get a negative 2? Okay. So I'm not worried about this 2x. I know it comes down. So I have 3x squared minus 8. Christian, who would you like me to solicit to have finish this problem? All right, Anna. Anna, Christian's done a fine job figuring this out for us. So what am I going to stick here in the middle of these?
Plus 4x minus 6x.
Plus 4x minus 6x. I like it. Okay. What color highlighter would you like? And I can even go to the palette. You want blue? So blue for the first part. What color would you like for the second part? You want me to go to the palette? All right. Any of those? Or do you want me to hit more? All right. Define custom colors. Okay. So let's do this. Ready?
May I choose?
Tell me where does it go. So this is the color. This is the color right here.
Go down to pink.
Go down to pink.
No, and now go down more. No, up.
I think this is Anna's choice.
She can choose it.
Anna let her.
Up by like blue, like purplish pink, right there.
That one? Sure. That's not the same?
It's the exact same.
As what?
The pink up there.
The default.
Then go down more. More pink. Right there.
It's exactly the same. Let's go.
All right.
It's like bright red or something.
All right, here we go. Oh, it is a little darker.
Ah.
Uh-huh.
Ah.
All right, so that's a negative 6x minus 8 in there. Agree? So what do we got? What do I have in common between these two? X's, good. And I'm left with 3x plus 4, I believe. That sign has to be negative. What do I have in common with this new purplish? 2, I like it, and it's a negative. So I'm factoring a negative out, so it's going to change both signs. That's 3x plus 4. All right, what's our answer? And don't forget your GCF.
2x.
Good?
3x plus 4.
Yes.
X minus 2.
Nice.
And do we just leave it like that?
Yeah. Notice that 2x is part of the answer, agree? Huh. What do you think? Feel all right? So your assignment for tonight will be page 4142. Right? All I want you to do is 1 through 23. Because we have a quiz tomorrow. This is the review. If you can feel you can go through these, you can nail it. Okay? You have the rest of the period to work. I got you covered.